there might be some surprises, right? So make sure you keep an open mind. Let's see what everybody has to bring to the table, because we saw a very exciting game. We saw some very exciting plays, right? Back-to-back almost quadra kills, 3 rounds. I'm going to say back-to-back. Somebody dropping a 17-kill game. Was it 17 at the end, as a Rocky?
Yeah, I think it was 17.
17 kill in a 7-round game. Fantastic job. Here we go. Nomad, Jackal, both off the board. We'll see who they want to ban for defense.
Jackal's a pretty common ban. Pretty much anywhere you look, his ability is just incredibly annoying at best, and at worst, a team that can really take advantage of the fact that you can pinpoint one person. It's something that you can really have a lot of trouble with. So it seems like a Jackal ban is probably pretty strong. Nomad, however, is the one that I want to talk a little bit more about, because she's particularly useful on this map, considering both upstairs sites make use of some very tight rotations through like short corridors or singular doorways. One of the major spots we see a Nomad play is between the lockers, between Sandwich. She's repelled off that window. She places a Nomad charge, and anyone who tries to rotate over to, say, deny a plant through Armory is going to basically be mowed down by that by the air jab and then cleaned up by Nomads. So it's a very strong operator on this map, and we actually see a Gridlock potentially picked for the first time today. A very strong operator, and I think part of the reason we didn't see her last time was simply because there wasn't a lot of roam presence in general during the last set of games. And my friend here is a little bit muted, so I'll give him a sec to...
yeah, my apologies. You know, I've been coming off a cold, so I've been muting my mic constantly so I don't cough into everybody's ears. Sometimes I forget to toggle it back off. But you're right. Last round, we did see some roaming, but the problem is the attackers, they didn't really have any problem dealing with it when we did. So no need to bring out any reinforcements on preventing said roam. But yeah, here we go right into round number 1 of game number 2 of the night. Don't forget, again, if this isn't the team that you are looking for, you can find the full schedule over on Twitter at CCS Esports on Twitter. Got the whole schedule posted right there for you, so you can tune in whenever the team you're looking for is playing, or you can stick around and watch all the games. We've had an exciting one so far. We had some really exciting ones in EU earlier today. All of those VODs you can find later on, especially the off-stream match. For today, for NA, you can find on our YouTube channel shortly, youtube.com/you guessed it, CCS Esports.
So far, we're seeing a little bit of run-out prevention. So Queen Yolo mid has been pretty focused around this roam clear so far, and just making sure that, well, I wouldn't even say roam clear. They're just making sure that they can't be flanked between the Claymores and the Gridlock. Animosity will pick up the first kill, however. It's a headshot onto Butter and Scotch, and I believe that was a fight that happened through the armory doorway. So a very strong pick right there, especially as the Bandit. He won't be able to trick this wall anymore, and they're going to have a pretty nice spot attacking into here. However, there is someone in the pillbox.
Yeah, Team Yolo moving pretty swiftly. We have, like you said, one behind here, half wall. That's kind of slowing things down. Of course, in the hands, an Olive, which is a very interesting foe to go against, I guess you would say. Got the ACOG, got the spray for miles. And there she will retain her spot. She got the ADSs protecting her. Drones will come out. Nobody in the other bomb site, but you'll see somebody over by Fountain. Arnie will get some bullets thrown her way, but she will just hang out, and look, some damage coming right back onto Autumn, losing a lot of damage through that soft wall in the small office. So she will rotate right back, but no, get caught up in the rotate. Trip will get the opening kill for the team. 4-4 now, a minute 15, still plenty of time. Team, I guess, still want to say Team Solo, man. Queen Yolo, man. And you can see why they're tripping me out. Just like you were trying to get tripped up last game. This team name is just for me. But they'll get clicked out. Booyah, she'll open things up for herself, getting a kill. And she'll get a double, as a matter of fact. And so now only 2 remain on the defense. Make that one. Booyah with a quick triple will rush into sight. And now full control. The diffuser will go down. Valkyrie from the backside. Fountains She'll try and find a pick. Cannot find anything right off the bat. The diffuser will go down uncontested completely on the drone. They know exactly where she is, and she has got a mountain to climb if she wants to make anything happen. She's trying to figure out what she's going to do. There's not a whole lot she can. All the angles are covered. One will get pinged right outside on AC. She's getting shot through the soft wall. The intel will come out, and that will be it. Bap close it out, and Queen Yolo mid, gosh, I'm going to have to get used to saying that, will take round number 1 on the back of a Fuya 3K.
And Yolo mid basically had that round 1 as soon as they planted the diffuser. The way they played it, they were so spread out. They were all from very different angles. They had track stingers set up as well, so they didn't even have to worry about not seeing someone walk by, because she's going to get tripped up by the stingers, and there are going to be so many sound cues whenever she tries to push in that it just takes one person to peek and they could get the kill. So overall, a very strong post plant by Queen Yolo mid. They didn't get overzealous with their lead, and that's exactly what I like to see. Now, in terms of how they managed to break the site open like that, a lot of it happened off screen, but we saw Fuya with some very, very strong gunplay over on her side, and that was the main thing that opened up the site. I believe she was playing around the armory wall when that happened, and so she just won gunfights. That's the best I can say for that one. So overall, a strong showing so far by Queen Yolo mid.
Absolutely, and we talked about last round that Powerhouse was having the problem where they were being a little bit too timid. Sometimes you just got to run in there, right? Fuya did just that, and it paid off dividends. I mean, they had absolutely no problem with the rest of that round, 3v1. So there are times to be aggressive, right? But smartly aggressive. I remember way back when people were talking about this. I remember Kickstarter Year 1, Season 3, I think it was, that, you know, calculated aggression is the key, because you've got to mix it up. You cannot be always rushing, always peeking, and likewise, you cannot be always sitting in a corner somewhere waiting for them to come to you.
And one thing that makes the aggression calculated is information, and it seems like Powerhouse are setting up with both Valkyrie and a Maestro, so that'll give some really good information to their side. And so far, CCTV looks like it's going to be pretty much uncontested for the attackers here. That is an interesting piece of map control for the defenders to give up, so I think Outduced might be a little bit off on that, but Bappers will manage to get the first kill onto Trippery, and that opens it up for the round once again in Queen Yolo mid's favor.
Technically 2 in a row. Bappers, the IGL. She'll find the opening kill of this round, closing kill of the last round. And now they're back, not necessarily in too comfortable of a spot, but when you got one extra person than the other team, you're starting to ease up a little bit. Still plenty of time, and I really like seeing about Team Queen Yolo. I am not going to get that tonight. Is that they don't hesitate to get into position, right? They know that they're going to be safe. They do a little bit of droning, and then they really take control right outside of the site and start to get to work. Walls opening up, et cetera, and then they're able to hold angles so that the defense is still kind of sneaking around, getting in position, even doing some late setup. And look at that, all 4 of them sitting in monitors right now. Crazy. But either way, they're quick to the punch. Now, right now, they seem to be pretty stalled out. I'm not sure exactly what the game plan is. If there's something stalling them out. Here comes a ping, a C4, but nope, they'll be moved just in time. And no damage will come out from that C4. But it's playing underneath.
Yeah, we'll see if she can get a bit of a frag here from the lower side. But Autumn May will find a headshot, just reaction fire. Flick from her, and now Suyori gets Autumn with a headshot as well, and Fuya manages to take out Pernie Sanders. So once again, Queen Yolo mid is still in the driver's seat of this game. 40 seconds left. Still plenty of time for the defuse to go down as Butterscotch takes out Yappers. Another challenge peeking around the corner, but however, it will not be one that's in Queen Yolo mid's favor. Outduced finally manages to find some footing, and they're fighting the attackers back. So Butterscotch going for a long rotate, and now Suyobi, her main goal is to delay for time, but she can't do it. She ends up going down instead, and now Butterscotch has to deny this. He sees the head and fires through the wall. Will get the first kill. Second one will not go to her over, as Fuya will once again be the final kill of the round.
Yeah, Fuya back-to-back multi-kills, this time coming in, actually both times really coming in real clutch for her team. Beautiful shot there through the wall. We didn't know if Valk saw it, but she indeed did. Stop the plant, 1v1. Queen Yolo mid didn't look as strong as they did last round, but still managed to take the round away 2-0 in favor of Queen Yolo mid. But OD, I really like seeing what they managed to chain together at the end of that round because it wasn't looking so good for them at the beginning. Now it looks like they're very much in contention here. They cannot let Queen run away with the scoreline, though. They still need to bring some rounds back if they want to keep in contention.
Yep, and it seems like a ventilation workshop is going to be the call here. So switching it up on defense, if the same site doesn't work twice in a row, maybe that's the time where you can start deviating out and think to yourself, okay, maybe what we were doing is not working. So I think this is a pretty good site for them to do it with. They're bringing a castle as well, so that of course immediately tells us that they're going to start playing a bit more of the vertical game here as well, and hold the second floor above sites, hold armory. And so far, the full armory defense hasn't worked for them, but when the site is not actually armory, you get to play a little bit more of a loose game when you're defending armory as a roamer. So we'll see if that benefits them at all, but looking at the scoreboard, of course, Fuya heading that up with 6-0 so far, with just 2 rounds in. That means an average of 3 kills per round so far. That's pretty crazy.
Absolutely. So we got about 2:55, 4 on the clock right at the beginning of the round. And we have been getting the feedback that the caster's a little bit ahead. We understand that. We're working on fixing that right now as we get to the 2:40 mark. We just so happen to not have the benefit of all being in a nice studio right next to each other. We're all on different sides of the country, so we all have to kind of get in sync. And sometimes that can be a little bit difficult. So bear with us. We'll try and slow down our calling a little bit so as not to spoil anything for you. But as you probably know by now, I like to get a little nuts when some multi-kills come out. So we'll see if I can contain myself. And yet again, within the first 45 seconds of the match, Queen Yolo mid. I am not going to get... I'm just going to say Queen. Queen will get right up there. They'll already begin opening the wall yet again. Now, last time we saw them get really stalled in monitors for quite a while. Thankfully, they were able to win some gunfights in the end. But now they are used to the fact that there is somebody playing half wall. They will send one Zofia stun back behind there. No ADS to stop it. Automay, she will finish the job onto Mozzie. And, ooh, beautiful shot. She'll find a 2-piece right as Trip fires back, killing Animosity. And it will be a 4-3, full top control now for Queen.
I like how focused Queen Yolo mid are so far. They have a bunch of people ready to get the refrags if anything were to happen. And on top of that, they used the Zofia charge to confirm that there was someone behind the half wall. And that just the confirmation alone is really important, because now both they know someone's back there, they can have someone hold that angle, and it was Autumn who did that. And they also put pressure on the defender. The defender now knows that they know that he's behind that half wall. And
Right.
he's basically trapped. So he's kind of freaking out. He's panicking. He's thinking she's thinking to herself, this is where I have to make a move. If I don't do it now, they're just going to surround me and kill me. So you're putting a lot of pressure on the defenders from just one little piece of gadget.
Yeah, this is one of those time-old situations where it's like, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If they're going to come and do the same setup, put one person back there, and Fuyo, she'll peek it, she'll get 1 kill, she'll see another one, but no, she's got to get that U-bar out of her foot. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to keep putting the same person behind there with the same utility, the attackers, they're going to come prepped for that next time. You got to throw some sort of wrench in their gears, change it up, even if it's just a little bit. Vernon, she'll hear some footsteps. Will not be able to rack in time as Bappers comes around the corner, fly in, and Autumn with the 3-piece on the round will clean it up, and Queen looking stronger than ever.
Yeah, Queen, pretty much, I think every gunfight for the most part has gone their way, or even if it hasn't, there's been someone around to trade. So that's one thing that I really like about what we've seen from this team so far, is that not only do Queen Yolo mid have good fraggers, but they don't rely on those fraggers. We see someone trying to take an aggressive fight. If they lose the fight, then there's someone else to refrag. This round, it happened to be Autumn May there for the refrags, but in the past it was Fuya. And so far, they're running up and down the scoreboard. And with a 3-0 lead, Outduced are kind of in this situation where they have to figure something out on defense. They have to make some big change. One thing I want to mention is that we saw a Castle get 6-pick to Valkyrie on defense. And the reason they do that, I actually love Castle as a 6-pick, whether it's to Castle or off Castle, because Castle is probably the most site-dependent defender in the game. He's really good on some sites, really bad on other sites. So that's one tool that they use to fake like they were going down to ventilation again, because you always play Castle on ventilation. It's a staple. You block off the bathrooms. But since they 6-pick off of it, they're trying to trick Queen Yolo mid into thinking they went toward the first floor, when in reality they're going back up to Armory.
5 seconds remaining.
Absolutely. So it looks like, yeah, kind of the same layout that we've seen before. We've got one quite a ways offsite. I think they're not in offices, but yeah, I think they did rotate, yeah, eventually back to offices. So I'm not sure if they're going to contend in there or not. But here comes Animosity right up to it. And again, they're not wasting too much time. They're not being overly aggressive where they're them being queen, where they're not acting on intel, right? They're doing drone. You can see people on drones. They are getting intel. They're not wasting a whole lot of time. And I think that when it comes down to when it's time to engage those gunfights, those are done and those trades are made, and they still have plenty of time left on the clock that they don't have to rush in the site. They can still check their angles, etc. Couple that with the fact that they've had a couple of really good rounds where they've had a team member get a massive multi-kill, triple kill, or better. And the one round that didn't happen, it came down to a 1v1, and it was anybody's game. So I wouldn't count anybody out of this yet. I think Outduced just needs to kind of regroup, not let the nerves hit him so hard, and I think they have a really good chance. Triple barely make it out of monitors alive. Animosity also very low amount of health. Will Trippers try to peek this against the ACOG? It's not a very good idea. She will, and she will pay for it. Animosity, an easy pick up there. What are you doing, Trip? Please. We'll see another kill come out. And we've got 2 members of Queen. Very low on health, but it's still 3-5.
I do like that Outduced so far have been switching up their defensive setup a little bit. Even though the operators didn't change, they did decide to put a little bit more emphasis on the CCTV. However, it hasn't been working as Fuya gets yet another pick, and that leaves 5v2 left on the board. Autumn is taken down herself, down to the ground, down but not out, as Fuya takes out Yazers, and now we're in a 1v5, potentially a 1v4 if they don't pick up the Twitch, but they will. And even though one shot will kill most of them, this is still a really daunting task, especially if Queen Yolo mid-hold angles and Autumn just peeks around the corner and takes out Bernie Sanders very quickly.
Yeah, Queen's just kind of on a roll now. They're feeling it. They're very comfortable in doing what they've done. We've seen them attack from multiple angles on the upstairs, and they've been successful in both. They're just not doing really much anything wrong right now. And the other side, I don't see Outduced doing anything like criminal or really wrong. That's the crazy thing about it. At the very end of the day, we've seen a bad peak. I'm not sure if we've seen multiple, but we've seen a very overly aggressive. You're not going to win those very often, especially so low on health. Time to retreat and hold an angle. Remember, the attackers have to come to you. But at the end of the day, they're just not winning very many gunfights. And that's all there is to it. Okay? Fuya, on the other hand, 9 kills.
Attackers need to locate
Just a few rounds
and defuse
deep.
bombs.
Doing absolute work. Queen, in general, working very well as a cohesive unit.
So the operator switch up we see this time, even though they're heading to the same site, they're bringing a Mute and a Pulse. And I like these 2 operators. Mute's going to help deny some info by preventing Jones from getting into wherever he feels like. He doesn't have to use the jammers on walls because they also have a Bandit. So Armory Wall is going to be completely up to Bandit, and that just leaves more space for Mute to use as information denial. I would like to see him go over to CCTV and deny some information over there and just have a heavy roam game there too. Because we even see that Queen Yolo mid like pushing from CCTV. They like taking control of it. I think that's part of the reason why there's a Pulse here, because Pulse is very good. If you hold him up in customs, he can C4 up into CCTV. But we'll see if Outduced actually, yep, and Suyovi is down here right where I said she would be with the Pulse. It's a very common spot to play, very good angles to deny.
Ooh, and I'm not sure if she got spotted down there. Fuya, they must have some intel because, or Fuya probably saw her upon opening up this wall. I'm not sure if that's exactly what happened, but she's holding an angle. They're not pushing. You know, we've seen 218 them getting the wall open onto the pillbox, but now Fuya has got some sort of intel, but she doesn't know exactly where she is. And no, doesn't know exactly where she is. Indeed, Pulse will pick up that kill, and now a teammate, Bandit, will join her. Now that the intel is out that she is down there, Fuya, the top fragger for Queen, I think yet to die this entire game, will go down. Autumn on a very aggressive peak will go down as well. And so now, OD showing a little bit of promise here. They weren't having such a great time yet. Now they're doing much better at a two-piece now for Yaz. So 2 left on Queen, almost.
And so I just really like this customs play by the side of Outduced. It's been working wonders so far. They've already gotten 3 kills, and even though Bappers finally takes out the Pulse, there's still a 2v4. That is still a very good spot for Outduced, and at this point, they just have to rotate back to site. There's no possible way the attackers can get so many angles that it can flush them out of a defense with only 2 members of their team. They do have a Capitao and a Sledge, however, so that's asphyxiating bolts and frag grenades that they could use at their disposal, but there are also ADSs on site still as well. So overall, just a very tough situation for Queen Yolo mid, and Outduced might be looking at taking their first victory so far. There is still a minute left on the clock, though.
I was gonna say, there's so much time left. I like how they're playing. They're playing very patiently, but a peek around the corner to pre-fire will not be fruitful somehow. Finally, she'll close it out, but she only has 1 health to speak of. After that engagement, Animosity could have cleaned that up quickly. And 2, 1 in the hallway, 1 in CCTV, will take the head off of Bappers. That's a 3K now. Animosity, 1 health versus 3 defenders. 30 seconds left to go. Not looking good. You sneeze on her and she is dead. She'll come through the wall. She'll send some bullets out. A valiant effort, but finally Outduced will win their first.
And Outduced, again, I already talked about it before, but this was completely off of the back of the adaptation they had to run a pulse, to run a mute, and to have people play customs. 3 members of Queen Yolo mid died without any refrags. There was only 1 kill on the pulse that when he was pushing back up the stairs, but that was nearly 30 seconds later. It was beautiful to see that sort of play, and unfortunately they probably can't pull that thing again, especially because they can't go up to Armory anymore. But it does show that Outduced are willing to make these big adjustments. Maybe a little bit late. They could have done that a few rounds earlier. But overall, it's something that shows their resiliency as a team, where they're 4 rounds down. They don't just say, okay, let's just play out the rounds until we switch sides and we're attacking now. No, they fight for it, and that's a really good start.
Absolutely. Clarification on names. You know, when I see them pop up in the feed, Yazzer, which first called, and Suyovi, you've been slaying it on that. I actually met with the teams prior to the match just to kind of get like phonetically how they like their names to be pronounced in certain situations, like the YASRZ. Could be a little bit confusing, okay? I know you guys think so too out there. Yazzers or Yaz. But thankfully I have such a good partner, casting partner today as Azaraki, who can correct me when I'm wrong. Don't make me say Queen Yolo mid again, please. But here we go into round number 6. And the Queen, who had looking unstoppable at the beginning, finally taste their first little bit of blood. So D strikes back. See if they can continue the trend as they are on what is widely considered a less preferable safety in top 4.
Yeah, generally the Armory is where every team loves to defend on this map, and with good reason. There are some really good choke points. This half wall is super strong if you're playing it as the right defender, and generally we've seen Maestro take that helm, and that's usually works out pretty well. But when you're pressured from so many different angles and you have a Zofia concussion grenade, so far it hasn't been working out for that side. But we do see a good amount of control in customs for the defenders as well, trying to cut off a bit of the rotations here. But it doesn't look like Queen Yolo mid are going to be playing into that. Queen Yolo mid focusing a lot more on offices over here and in Armory so they can play the vertical game directly down into sight. If they don't get any kills, however, it could potentially just end up wasting a lot of time. But Autumn does see the feet of someone. Gets a little bit of damage down. Actually, no damage down at all.
No damage somehow.
A bomb has been located.
And that's going to be it so far. 1 minute down in the round, and this is honestly a good amount of map control for Queen Yolo Mid to have this early in the round.
A ton of map control. I mean, they were opening the floor 45 seconds in. Complete control of the entire top of the map. Complete control. You know, with their ability to open up the floor, I mean, they've got the buck and the sledge. They have a lot of work, a lot of remodeling to do up top, and that's going to have to drive the defenders out. And now they've got all the time in the world to play with. They know that they are right off site. So going in through the window in B, a very viable solution, right? And even doing a drop. Now, they are stalling out a little bit. 1 minute left on the clock. Tons of time. I don't see, and as Automate actually will drop the hatch. Bappers will get kill number 1. So Queen is just doing everything right this round. And a very poor rotate, very poorly timed rotate, rather, trying to go up the stairs for the defense. But they've relinquished control from the get-go. It's not a very fun fight to try and fight your way up main stairs.
I'm surprised neither of them, since there were 2 of them there, and we see the second one still holding the angle. One of them should have gone over to the lobby stairs, but Yazers gets a headshot onto Bappers, bringing it down to a 4v4, but again, that's the plank going down, and that is the strength of having armory control, because you shoot down through the floors, and then nobody can rotate in to stop the plank, to stop the plant, because you're watching all of the entrances from above. So this is an incredibly strong position from Queen Yolo Mid, especially with 4 members of their team left. Shots traded back and forth. Butterscotch ends up getting Autumn May with a headshot, and ooh, Suyobi gets a second one as well, and they're going to start the defuse. Is there anyone watching the bomb from above? It doesn't look like there is. Buttern is going to stick it. Buttern is! No, she gets taken out! Oh my god, are you kidding me? As Fuya finishes that one off, and Fuya with a triple kill to end the round.
Oh my, I saw the white completely disappear on that timer. You could have not cut it more down to the wire if you had tried. I mean, what a valiant effort to try and commit to the stick. And it was a frame separated winning and losing that round. OD should not be disappointed in how that round played out. That was a coin flip right there. But here we go. Queen 5-1. Got about 8-7 seconds left here in the pre-phase. We're going to see any 6 picks coming out as, of course, the roles will swap.
Yeah, but we're going to see what Outduced can do on their attack. Of course, this is a map where generally you expect the defenders to win Armory all the time, and then from there it sort of depends on the team's playstyles. And the fact that Outduced only have 1 round so far is definitely not the position they want to be in. However, they could potentially bring their attacks up. A lot of it comes down to whether or not they can attack this Armory site. If they can, then they have a pretty good chance. If they can't, then, well, Queen Yolo Mid are pretty much guaranteed to play the site at least twice, even if they win it once, with the way the lockout rotation works. And all they need is 2 more rounds in order to take the entire map. So the pressure's on for Outduced at the moment.
It is on for Outduced. I mean, 5-1 is not an easy scoreline to come back from. It's definitely daunting. I mean, going up against some of the names, some of the recognizable names that you see on Queen can be sometimes a little bit daunting in itself. But to now be down 5-1, we'll have to see if the newcomers can muster up, because we've seen their fighting ability. I think they've made the mistakes that they made have not been big at all. Okay, it just so happens that the players on Queen are just so good that they can take advantage of those small mistakes and turn them into big gains for their team. Okay, there's not a lot. I've been very happy with how I've been seeing both of these teams play the game in general. It's just the mistakes are what are killing OD right now. And we talked about it before. This is a lot of teams' first competitive game ever. And so they've got to get over that. They've got to get used to it. I remember my first competitive game, ever. I looked way worse than any team I've seen today. So I understand the feeling and I understand the mentality. But what it's going to take to win is to suppress those emotions and play like you know how to play the game. Can OD do that? That remains to be seen. But if they can reach down deep and do it, they might have a chance.
And so far, we're seeing a decent amount of map control so far from the attackers. Outduced have gotten offices under their control, but it seems like they're focusing all of their efforts on this side of the push, so it could potentially backfire because that basically lets Queen Yolo mid rotate for free. If you have someone off the rappel on the sandwich, then you can cut off some rotations from people trying to move over. Same with if someone's planted on air conditioner. But Fuya will still get the first kill onto Pretty Sanders once again, and Fuya with another one! A double kill to start off this round.
Wow, she's just been just incredible so far. I mean, like I said, I feel like Queen is just so comfortable here. And it really shows. Meanwhile, Animosity on the other side, she'll take a lot of damage, but manage to retain her life, as it is now a 3v5. But look at this. Very little map control here for Outduced. And there's only 45 seconds left to play. Now they're going to be forced into a push and move situation. Trip, she'll find one, bringing the numbers back a little bit. But Fuya, right outside of CCTV, where it seems the rest of the attackers are congregating. They might know that she's there. Ash will peek in. Yes, indeed they do. They'll throw a flash. Fuya will get completely flashed. Ash will not take advantage of it. She'll hold the angle. Now running into, creeping around the corner. The pre-fire will come out and finally will take Fuya down, evening the numbers out. Only 20 seconds left to go. They're going to have to cover some ground.
A bomb has been
We've got Vappers on site. Autumn, she'll pick up one with almost no health. A very important kill for her team. She'll rotate back down to site and help her teammates guard it. 7, 6, the time ticks away. Animosity will find one. Yaz will find one right back. Oh, and just missed the heads. Autumn will get the multi-kill, and Queen will win yet another one.
And that forces match point as well. So Outduced are down 6-1. We're heading into round 8. The second defense for Queen Yolo mid. On the bright side for Outduced, Queen Yolo mid can't go back up to Armory since they just won it. So if there's any time to start a comeback, this is going to have to be it. And of course I say that, and it's pretty obvious at this point, because if they don't start the comeback now, well then it's 7-1 and they just end up losing. So we'll see if there's any sort of surprises they pull out of their roster lineup when they go into this attack. They should have a good idea that it's going to be Ventilation Workshop. We're going to see Sledge, Buck, Ash, Thatcher, Thermite. There is so much soft breach here. And again, that's because the vertical game is so strong on this site. You take control of Armory, you shoot down into Ventilation Workshop, and that's exactly how Outduced lost their last defense. And that's how Queen Yolo mid took that for themselves. And now Fuya with 14 kills on the scoreboard and 2 deaths. That's a 7.0 KD so far. Are you kidding me? That's incredible.
Yeah, 7.0 KD. Too bad we're not doing stats, because those stats would look unbelievable when we showed them pregame next week. So if anybody out there in chat, anybody wants to do stats, we'd be more than happy to accept that. But here we go into what is now match point OD. You know, before I said they have a mountain to climb, now they've got like 3 mountains stacked on top of each other. 6-1 is not a fun position to be in, right? It's not fun for them right now. We talked about nerves. We talked about this is their first time. A lot of them, not all of them, a lot of their first time doing comp. Again, I still haven't seen anything from OD that shows that they can't muster what it takes to get the job done. But 6-1, very difficult scoreline, almost near impossible. It's probably going to come down to them having to regroup and come back next week stronger, and hopefully they go out fighting.
So far, we've seen Queen Yolo mid. They're taking a pretty first floor oriented defense, which is pretty interesting, but they've set themselves up to a way where this might actually trip up the attackers a little bit, because they've even reinforced the hatch to customs, which is very interesting there. Even still, I want to see them have a couple of rotations, and actually we do see Autumn and Fuya over here up on the Armory side of things, so they actually have a little bit more than I saw at first. But Yazzers will get the first kill onto Autumn May, and that's only 1 minute into the round as well, so good start for Outduced.
I like seeing Yaz take command, go in, get that kill. Fuya, though, just been unstoppable all game long. She will return fire right back, and she will actually expose her back. But I'm not sure what just happened. That the sledge was right there. She'll do it again, but it will reap no consequences. Yes, finally will finish it off. Yaz with the 2 pieces started off. And not only that, but they got the top frag off the board. That has got to be a deep breath of relief here for OD as they now have full control over the top. Only a minute and a half left, but I tell you what, they've been moving a lot faster than we've seen them so far yet. A lot of drone work coming out. They are opening up the floor. They are doing a little bit of remodeling there. And now, can they finish on it with the 4-3 advantage?
4-3 is a place that we've seen teams come back from in the past, so Queen Yolo mid are not out of this round quite yet. However, they have given up all vertical control here, and that lets Outduced have whatever positions they want. A couple of their drones get shot out, which is unfortunate, so they'll be a little bit lacking on information. But again, that extra man, or that extra woman, still gives them a very good amount of angles to work with. And we're seeing it come to fruition right here as Trippy gets one. Bapper's actually playing all the way around in customs, almost like a roaming Doc, but roaming with angles instead of his body. As he slowly crawls back to sight. We'll find another one. Bappers takes out Yazers and leaves us with a 2v3, but the Doc's position is known right now, and the plant's starting to go down.
Yeah, Doc definitely heard it. She did some pre-firing, but no, they were ready. They're up top. Beautiful coverage of the plant, and now only Ashton left. She'll throw a couple of pop shots, revealing her location. She's going to have to rotate around. She knows exactly where it's planted. But again, we had somebody up top looking down through the hole. She'll retry this doorway one more time. We'll not see anybody hanging out in the back. We'll throw another pre-fire shot through. And there it is. Outduced will finally show a little bit of fight right back. Trip getting a multi-kill. Fantastic job by them. And I like how smooth, coordinated, and what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't panicking, right? I feel like they played that very calm and collected. When it was time to move, they moved. When it was time to stop and gather intel, they did that very well. And this is the OD that I've been telling you guys that I have seen the potential of the whole time. Down 6-1, they've got a lot more work to do, but you got to start somewhere.
Definitely have to start somewhere, and again, this is going to be another round that Outduced can build their momentum, and the way these sort of work is that you get 2 defensive wins on your side when the defenders try to go to Ventilation Workshop, and when you get to the point where the defenders can return to Armory, then you've already built up some momentum, and that's sort of what Outduced are going to be banking on, because Queen Yolo mid's first Armory defense looked very strong. It didn't seem like there was much that that Outduced could do to really combat that, and instead of making it seem like there's this timer, there's only 1 round left before we have to attack Ventilation again, or sorry, attack Armory again. If you start building the momentum early like they're doing now, then it might be easier for them to tackle that, and they might be able to find a new strategy they can use. Speaking of new strategies, we're seeing the first Dokkaebi of the day, and that is going to be played by Suyobi. So far, been getting a decent amount of frags for the side of Outduced. We'll see if this change ends up working out for them.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, it seemed to be pretty good so far the last round. But Queen, they seem to be fluid. They seem to be roaming. They got the toss downstairs again. Worked out kind of well. They got a pick, at least 1 pick. Got some damage down onto somebody else. Ended up getting shut down, though. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of I guess, resistance by Queen up top now. I'm not sure if they quite put so many bodies up top as they did last round. But they relinquish top control a little bit on the quick side, especially for what we've been seeing from OD far and how quick they've been moving. So Autumn, she'll hang out in offices, everybody else upstairs somewhere, except for 2 turtling downstairs on site. And OD a little bit spread out right now, but they are doing a bunch of droning, moving at their own pace.
And so far, 1 minute down on the clock. There's been a little bit of map control as CCTV has been taken, but when you're attacking a site like the Ventilation Workshop, CCTV is not only on a different floor, but also a different section of the map, so it doesn't really let you play the vertical game that much, unless you know there's someone in customs, and I don't believe there's a defender playing customs, so it's potentially, wow, Yazers with a pretty good headshot onto Autumn May, and Yazers trying to peek around for another kill, but he's going to get taken down by Fuya, as Fuya gets traded out by Trippy. Really, really good refrags on the side of Outduced, and that is the thing that allows them to be one up in this round so far.
OD's like, okay, new plan, gals. Take out Fuya. Okay? We'll take out Fuya early. Everybody can breathe. Let's do our thing. And so far, it seems to be working, right? They're up a operator. I usually say they're up a man, but in this case, they're up a woman, right? Up a woman. They still got plenty of time to work with. They just need not panic. Check all your angles, gather your intel, and move as a unit. Make sure that communication doesn't break down at any point. That's key. So they seem to be doing a little bit of the opposite of what I've been saying. That's okay. Everybody calm down. Fuya's dead. But they will need to make a play here pretty soon. It's not fun having to rush in the last 20 or even fewer seconds when the time is ticking down. But it is indeed. The defense seems kind of static. Somebody's way out there holding an angle. A great job because Queen's kind of peeking quite a bit. The hatch will get open above server rack, but still the time ticks away. Sue way out there cutting off rotation. Animosity, she'll find one on a trip. 3v3 now as the time is ticking away. Not a lot being done. They need to make a move in quick. I don't think holding this angle is going to be very fruitful for them. And there goes the diffuser. The rest of the team miles away. She'll go out and finish the kill. Peek around the corner. What a smart play. 5 seconds left. Hide in the corner is all you need to know. But no, she needs the kill. Animosity with the 4K will close it out. Queen Yolo mid will win game number 1 of CCS R6W and a show of force as we see our second 7-2 of the night.
As Ty said, no matter how much map control Outduced got on that last round, they didn't push in time. They still had a logic bomb left on the Dokkaebi. They just held those long angles. They tried to outwait